advice for English. I did English Lit Higher. I got a 7, which I'm really proud of because I tried really hard. But the good thing about Lit is that you only have to know how to do one thing, basically. You just have to look at a text and be able to look and spot literary features and spot what they do in the text. The only way you're really going to do good on exams is if you practice a lot and if you practice both papers. And if you think you aren't getting enough practice like with one paper, literally ask your teacher, hey, can I come in a lunchtime or in a free period and can I do a practice paper too?
Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Also, for the oral where you have to talk about like either you talk about the poems and then you talk about one of the plays you did, know all the poems and know both plays. Because if you get a poem that you don't know, you are absolutely screwed.
I got a poem I didn't know and I got a 6.
But don't memorize the
but you
poem.
did
Don't memorize anything.
Don't
memorize.
Also, you're only going to get good grades in essays if you have a lot of detailed examples. Like, if you have like one...
Philosophy time!
Philosophy.
I can't talk about this seriously. So, if your teachers are giving you articles to read, please, please, please read them. I hated having to read all these articles, but be really critical when you're reading things. If there's a statement that you see, like try and see where that statement is coming from. Philosophy isn't really about like knowing things or like knowing certain philosophers, although it is a bit. It's more about arguing and knowing your opinion. If you're taking philosophy, know what you believe in. No sentiment. I love how he hasn't said anything about anyone else's, but when it's because it's philosophy. You know, I have nothing else to say because although I have all these notes, I'm not allowed to say them anymore.
Okay, no, go on.
Okay. So if you're lucky enough to get a modern philosopher for your prescribed text, I'd really recommend like looking at their other works because it helps you get a broader understanding of where they're coming from. If you have class discussions, please take notes during it, like take notes of what other people have said because it will help you formulate a stronger argument when it comes to essay writing, and it might help you just like remember and realize things that I hadn't really thought of before.
Is it done?
Yes.
Are you finished yet?
Biology. We both took biology higher level.
I took it in English.
I took it in French, and for whoever was asking, we were allowed to take some subjects in
We
French.
live in a francophone country.
And I got a bilingual diploma.
It's not weird for us. I get. Well, I mean, I guess it.
I don't know why we're still like,
No,
yeah.
but it might be weird for like someone
Yeah.
in the States or the UK to be like, how come she's taking like maths and bio and French? We live in a francophone country.
Yeah. Also,
I have
what
notes.
did you? We both got a 6.
Oh, yeah, we both got 6. Ta-da! My first piece of advice would be that Bio Ninja is really useful.
Bio Ninja. Another resource would be the, what was it called? The biology guide or biology I'll put a picture up. It's a blue one. It's the one with the feathers on it.
Club Nitty?
The blue feathers.
Oh,
is
the
a book.
study guide.
It's a study guide. When you're about to do your exams, read that because it summarizes everything really well.
In terms of like actually studying for the exams, this isn't a piece of advice that I followed and I really wish I had of. The most important thing is to take like good study notes throughout the year because for me, when I was like studying for tests, I'd just like read through the study guide and like do practice questions and I wouldn't really take any study notes down. So when it came to actually studying for the IB, I found that most of my time was spent just writing down notes, and although that's good because it helps you like sort of remember stuff, it meant that I didn't have that much time to actually practice biology.
Right before mocks as well is really helpful, is to go through past paper 1 questions especially, and just do as many as you can because they're from like the paper 1 questions are from all the subjects and they're really easy to do for practice.
For the actual exam, I would recommend doing a bunch of past papers because questions do come up often.
Oh yeah.
Mainly essay questions.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the things that, for example, when you're learning it in class or like just studying it in general, if you see something that looks really obscure, and you're like, well, they're not going to mention it. They're probably going to mention it. Our mock exam was about Malpighian tubals, was one of our essay questions, and it looks like the most minute piece of information.
And she was on the
studying.
She was there.
It was an 8-mark question. So anything that you see that just looks ridiculously obscure and useless, know it.
You should write down all the historical labs and stuff, the experiments, all the people. Just make 2 or 3 note cards. Yeah, that's what I meant. Have them so that you can read them right before the exam, and then just have them in your head. It's so useful. Just to have all the historical experiments, and then all I don't know, the drawings. Sometimes those come up randomly.
Know all the labs, compulsory labs.
Yeah,
try to take note of the variables, I would say, and the method.
I took chemistry higher and I got a 6.
I took chemistry standard, and somehow on the exam I got a 5. Except I'd been getting 3s all the way through during the year.
The only thing I really have to say is that, unlike biology, what's important is not taking notes and memorizing things, it's doing practice questions. And that is the most useful and most important way to study. It doesn't really change that much in chemistry what sort of questions they ask you. There's always going to be some sort of pH calculation. There's always going to be a mole stoichiometry sort of calculation. Do you have something to say?
But kind of a lot of look at the syllabus and make sure if you pick a point at random on the syllabus, make sure you could explain what it is. Sometimes there is a question about a tiny little bullet point, and you're like, if only I had taken 5 minutes to remember this.
Yeah. Also, a really useful thing I found was on YouTube, there's some IB chemistry videos by Richard Thornley. Richard Thornley is your best friend.
I would also say that for paper 3, for the option, if you're taking another science, try to get that science be the option. Because, for example, taking bio and chemistry, your option is better if it's biochemistry. If you take physics, it's better to take energy.
Energetics engineering.
Oh, energy, yeah.
Or if you're like me and you hate science, you take chemistry because you have to. Medicinal chemistry is a really nice option. It's really short and it's quite easy even for a dumbass like me. So yeah. History. Sadness.
Well, I got a 6 in history.
And funny story.
She got a 5.
But
1 mark away.
Oh my god, I
1%. I'm 1% away from a 6.
Oh.
She's mad because she is better than both Nacho and I in history. Based on the 2 years, she got more.
Is she really?
Well, she got more 7s than I
got more
did.
7s than you guys. But also I'm mad because I'm gonna go study history. So.
Yeah, that too.
The history syllabus has certain words that you need to pay attention to.
Command terms.
No.
Of power.
Not even command term.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what I did. If you can, I would recommend working with your friends because they were both in the same class but in a different class to mine, and it was fun because they had another way of studying in that class and I had a different one, and we could kind of share our thoughts, we could have good discussions, but also save time for yourself. Don't try to learn everything because she knew all about pre-World War I and World War
I is my jam.
I
love it. I love everything.
Look at what topics you're doing. Don't answer a topic that no one. People have done that before. People have answered a question in a topic that they did not learn. Just know what topics you're learning. Look at the questions that the topics can give you and see what you can study and what you can't. There's no point in trying to know everything. Just try to learn what you have to. Also, in the exam itself, just pace yourself so you end up writing the 3 essays. Don't try to be okay, I'm gonna write 2 really good essays because it's better to have 3 medium level essays than one
have 2 15s and a 0.
Yeah, exactly. Just
study over the summer, study over all the holidays.
That's not true. That's
Yes,
you
yes,
do
you
not
have-
have.
I don't know, because for me, like, writing all the notes right before the exam kind of helped me.
Well, for me, the reason I know World War I so well is because I was like rewriting it and rewriting it.
Basically, the
Whatever.
advice, don't think you can get away with history by
murder.
just reading. Like, there's
Yeah,
no possible
you
way.
can't.
I pulled out all my highlighters and stuff. Like, I read most of the textbooks, but boy, do I not remember most of it. Think, like, okay, for mocks, I'm gonna study this section. I'm gonna study a big chunky bit of it, and I'll maybe not know a lot of stuff, but I'll know this for sure, so that you have that in reserve for the IB.
Can you please talk about physics?
Okay, so when I took physics, yeah, I didn't believe in physics. So what I did was I didn't believe in it.
You defied gravity like Leah Michelle.
Basically,
Dina
I'm in